Hello, and welcome to Character Class. We're back, and today I would like to talk about something a little more serious. Um, in specific, I would like to talk about uh, racism and sexism in gaming groups, gaming circles, and gaming communities in general, because it is an issue. It's out there. I've heard and seen various things about it over the years, and it's something that I've kind of felt like I've wanted to address for a time, but it's one of them things that it's a hot button issue for a lot of people. So I'm going to preface this by simply saying that I understand that, and this may sound like a cop out to some people because I know that this sort of argument is used a lot of the time to basically push past and push aside any claims of sexism and racism and whatnot. And I'm not doing that. I'm not doing this to push anything to one side. I'm here to talk about this issue in general. But I will, as I said, preface this by saying I understand that not all men are racist or sexist. Not all women are racist or sexist. Not all gaming groups are that way. Um, not all black people or Indian people or any other nationalities, Asian, what have you. None of them are the stereotype that fits in. None of them are like not everyone who plays games, plays Dungeons and Dragons, is some unwashed nerd that doesn't take care of themselves. Um, not all gamers are toxic, spewing, hate pieces. Uh, they're just not. Um, so you can't. I understand that this is a thing, and I'm not directing any of my comments at people that are that are not the problem with this. These comments are just here to kind of address the issue and to voice my opinions on it. And my opinions are that there are a few things that we as gamers as a whole, those who play role-playing games and whatnot, and I'm kind of focusing mostly on the role-playing game aspect of it because this is a character class. Um, and it's kind of mostly focused on gaming groups that are in person, but not always. This can be online as well. Because I've got a few things that, uh, a few tips, tidbits, rules, what have you, things to keep in mind for when you have problems like this with racism, sexism, harassment, um, anything like that. There are things that can be helpful. So just uh, helpful little tips that may help you resolve a problem or come to some sort of resolution. So that being said, number five, my fifth little tip is to not knee jerk. Don't knee jerk reaction. And what I mean by that is whenever anyone is confronted by something like that, uh, racism, sexism, harassment, anything like that, there is a tendency because emotions can be high. People can burn hot very quickly, um, and when you have these intense emotions, it's very easy to lose it and to just go apeshit on someone. But I think that that sort of thing, just having that knee-jerk reaction and flying off the handle at somebody, tends to make a situation worse. So wherever possible, I think people should try to remain calm when confronted with this. Don't allow their immediate, visceral, instinctual reaction to lash out uh, to get out. Keep calm, stay as calm as possible. Uh, if one needs to take a few minutes to ensure that, that's fine. Do this. But not knee jerking will only, I think, help the situation by staying calm, addressing it calmly, talking things out, communicating, which is the next one. Tip number 4 is to communicate with each other. And this is something I covered in the rules for game mastering. Um, to communicate with your players, to find out, you know, what the rules are between everybody. This is a big thing because specifically my gaming group and myself growing up, uh, I learned to do something I call it ragging on people. My friends used to do it back when I was in high school. Um, my gaming group currently does it now. We trade insults back and forth to each other. We don't mean it. It's simply a way to rag on each other, to basically, tweak things up like that. My One of my players the other day was asking me questions about my werewolf campaign and what I would allow and what I wouldn't allow. And I told him that I wasn't going to allow him to take a merit that would give him extra dice on all of his attacks because it wasn't really designed for a werewolf character in mind. This was designed for a human character to be more competitive against supernaturals. And he came back to me with, I'm just hearing you say jerk, 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 jerk. He was basically calling me a jerk for not letting him break the system. And that's I didn't take any offense to it, and I told him to basically go fuck himself. He didn't take any offense to it. Um, it was just the way we communicated. Um, and sometimes some people don't like that. Some people don't agree with these things. My gaming group, we don't have a problem with it because we know each other. It's how we get along. Your gaming group may not, and if it doesn't, and you have a player who does do things like that, they may need to be talked to, and that's where the communication comes in. Because if nobody communicates, all you're left with is your own beliefs, and you don't know what another person is thinking. So it's always good to open up those lines of communication, to talk, especially before anything begins. Lay down the ground rules, make sure everyone understands them. That way, if the continues, you can go to them and say, we've already talked about this. And if it continues after that and after that, and it just is a problem, then maybe you shouldn't play with those people. I mean, you can't change anybody that doesn't want to be changed. Anyone that is resistant to change, there's no way you can force their mind simply by, being, because if they don't want to change, they're not going to. That's simply life. As the old saying goes, you can't help those who don't help themselves. Then number 3. Now, some of you out there may be fans of Night Vale uh, and may know the old saying, when you see something, say nothing and drink to forget. But in this case, you shouldn't. In this case, if you see something, say something. Speak up. Um, this is one of the important little tips because if you don't speak up, uh, there is always a possibility. I'm not saying it applies to everyone, but there's a possibility that some people may not um, they may not understand that what they're doing is wrong. They may not understand that what they're saying, what they're doing, um, is causing other people to feel uncomfortable, or causing other people to have problems. They may not get it. So, if at all possible, when you can, speak up. Stay calm about it. Don't be derogatory. Don't get in their face, but speak up. If you don't speak up to the person that's causing the problem, speak up to the dungeon master or whoever's running your game, your little gaming group, and running the campaign. Speak up to them. Maybe pass them a note, just letting them know so they can uh, talk to the person. I mean, there's all kinds of ways that you can speak up. Even if you're only telling another player and talking to them, that other player may be a good go-between. But speak up. Don't just let it, let it lie. Number two is to be there for others. Be there for your other players, your friends. This includes anyone that might be exhibiting uh, troublesome behavior. As I said, this sort of thing may not be something that they are even consciously aware of. So bringing it to their attention um, and being supportive if they are, truly, uh, sorry for what they've done. If they're like, oh, I didn't even realize I wasn't meaning anything by it. I wasn't trying to cause any offense. If they are sorry and if they are making an effort to change um, their behavior for the better, to shuck these bad habits that they may have in terms of dealing with other people and saying other things, then yes, be supportive of them, but be there for the ones that are uncomfortable as well, the ones that find this offensive, because a lot of times people don't speak up about these sort of things. They don't like to bring it up, to talk about it. And it's something that really does need to be talked about. So definitely be there for your friends, be there for your gaming group. Um, and if you are the dungeon master, definitely be there. Um, and that leads me to the last point. And this is kind of specifically aimed towards dungeon masters and whatnot, but also to players as well. And that when it comes to racism and sexism and harassment in gaming circles, don't let it happen. Like as I said, if you see something, speak up. Don't just let it happen because it's not affecting you. If it's not in your group and it's in another gaming group that's maybe playing at the same store as you are, and you see something like this happen, speak up. Do something about it. Uh, it's it's never, if you leave that sort of stuff, it tends to breed, it tends to spread. It's kind of like an infection, and hatred and harassment and sexism, racism. It just spreads. So you need to root it out. You need to get rid of it because it's not something that we as a gaming community need. It's not something we as humanity need. Hatred has been the cause of just strife and trouble and death and all kinds of bad things throughout history. And I personally am a firm believer in peace, in making sure that people are friends and get along. I hate seeing people at odds with each other. So those are my little tips. Thank you all for letting me be serious for a little while and talking about this. Um, I hope this is helping some people. Um, if you have any other tips that you think can be used, please share them in the comments below. Um, let's get a discussion going on this because it is an important issue. It is one that needs to be talked about. So thank you all so much for watching. As always, if you like what I'm doing, give the like button a tap, give the subscribe button a tap, do the comment thing down below, let me know. And until next time, you all take care, and remember, be nice to each other. I'll see you next time.